Here are the facts. If we can take down this Gigantosaurus, this Giga, then we are the ultimate survivor and we've conquered the hunted. I'm Vadd and welcome to episode 3 as we journey along. We still have these Pachyrhinoceroses after us from the end of episode 2. They weren't happy we were sneaking around, but right now here at episode 3, our immediate goal is to try and see if we can either find a Giga nest. It's kind of been the big hunt we've been on this series, or not the Giga nest. I say we try and kill the Giga. I'm not exactly sure how to do that, but look at this. Does that not look like a nest to you? I don't know if it's a Giga nest. I don't know what the Gigantosaurus nest will look like, but it's definitely a nest. We talked a little bit about this in episode 2. The more time we've spent in the hunted, the better we get at going, that's a nest. This time, oh yeah, we've caught the nest red-handed. Now, with our simple pistol and our fancy scope, we're able to actually get a couple of good shots on the Giga from a impressive distance. We deliberately have gone up on this cliff edge to give ourselves the high ground. Now, the real question is, will it work, right? Do we have it? Wow, it hit us through the ground. Awesome. Okay, classic Giga. I don't know how that was allowed. You cheater. But you're going to run raid too? Okay, not only is this Giga a cheater, they're also a coward. Hacks. Well, we're not dead, which is a big win, but we also didn't kill the Giga. Let's go ahead and check on that nest. There are some Stegosauruses around here. I saw some Ankylosauruses. We did run by the Triceratops and the Stygimylox to get up here. I think that's what they're called, those fake trikes that I forget their name all the time. Let's see. Oh, I couldn't grapple this. Weird. Maybe I missed. Examine nest. Okay. Is anyone mad at us? Head on a swivel? Head on a swivel? It's important to always have your head on a swivel. Yeah, no, it's an RG nest. There's no RGs here. And not only are there no RGs here, but we've angered the Ankies for checking on the RG nest. So either there's an Anki nest under here or around here, or I just don't know. But I think the Giga came through, kind of like the Allosaurus back in episode 2, and it kind of ate the RGs, and it was working its way through these armored herbivores. So now we have basically an opportunity for a free nest, some free eggs if we can find one. The important thing with the RG nest, and any nest you pick up, is we need to destroy the nest. If we do not successfully destroy, we kind of overshot it here. Oh well. If we don't destroy the nest, there's no chance that anything's going to spawn in. I am going to find that Giga corpse off camera. Remember, those corpses are very valuable, but it's clearly run quite a ways. Is any further, and it's going to be a couple minutes of walking back. All that being said, we did test out last episode the new armor. This is the ghillie suit, and it's definitely making a difference. I think though, when we get near a nest, like you saw just a moment ago, see the Ankies are still after us. Once we get something upset at us, the ghillie suit isn't nearly as good as it is when we haven't been spotted yet. So when we get near a nest, it seems we just guarantee aggro whatever's in the vicinity. But if we're not initially spotted, like see that Anki over there on the right, hasn't seen us yet. Okay, maybe is it cornering? I don't think so. Yeah, it's going the other way. It's going the other way. So, until we're initially, upset the locals, we're fairly invisible. It's pretty good. But you can see here the Giga really did chomp its way through a lot of these Ankies. But, oh, there it is. See on the left there, that nest? Man, it was quick. So, we're going to destroy the RG nest. I don't see an egg here. I've noticed with the nest, if you kind of look up and towards the center, it was underneath. Well, good thing we destroyed this nest, or there's no chance we get this RG egg. Now, I would imagine the Ankies aren't going to be happy, as here is also an Ankylosaurus egg, and here's their nest. Notice here we can get clay and rare mushrooms from the Anki nest, and it kind of looks like it spawned into the tree, some of the eggs. Now, they should all be upset with us, but they wander surprisingly far from the nest. Back last episode, we were looking all over for those Triceratops, and we found a bunch of trikes, but no nest. I think it's kind of deceptive sometimes just how far you will find the nest from the tamed creatures. There's no RGs anywhere near here. Not even kind of close. I assume they've all been killed off. There's definitely some Ankies around here, but if this had a little more underbrush like in the jungle or whatnot, would have been a lot more challenging to find the Anki nest. Thankfully, it had some bright yellow eggs. And frankly, as soon as we find that Gigacorpse, this will have been pretty much a giant win, right? We successfully tested out the ghillie suit. It is pretty sneaky. We got our hands on an RG egg. We also have an Anky egg, and we harvested some resources from the Ankylosaurus as well. All in all, what's next on our hit list? Well, we're going to Spider-Man our way across, the plateau here, which if we can land this grapple shot, that's going to put us in a position to go and get that drop. A lot of the times we go out to get drops, and that's how we find nests. And we're always kind of taking mental notes of, hey, we see there's a bunch of X creature kind of running around. So in this case, as we move closer to, I think it's a yellow or a purple drop, tough to tell from here, we're going to notice kind of on this cliff, this plateau here we're coming up on, there's a bunch of iguanodons. Now, we have plenty of iguanodon eggs right now, but we're making a mental note here as we play the mod. Oh, there's iguanodons over here. Okay, we've been through this stretch a couple of times now, and we haven't been able to get the eggs because there's always an Allo or a Carno about, but this time it's a Giga, so we're just going to run. Now, here's these kangaroos. I really would like to get a good... Oh, no, he's after us. This is bad. We just want to get the drop, okay? We really just want to farm the drops, but if that's not going to be the case, we're going to take advantage of our parachute, and Gigas don't come with parachutes. Take that, Mr. Giga. We really need to not only be kind of making mental notes of where the nests are as we're playing through the mod, but also what did we collect from these nests? I've been showing you along the way every single item that we have picked up from a corpse or a nest. It's time to try and get this Giga. I think we can probably trick this Giga. Yeah, there we go. He's hungry. He's very hungry. He's after our Lucky Charms, but as we all know, tricks are for kids, so he's going to fall off the waterfall. He probably won't die from fall damage, but I think we're going to be able to take advantage of, once again, the local environment and having the high ground, and we can probably gun him down. Now, I would love to ride into victory on the Chashas, the Pashas, but come on, let's all be realistic here. If you're going to fight a Giga, I wouldn't recommend a Parasaur or a turtle, okay? Just me, personally, if that's your chosen mount that you like to fight Gigas with, go crazy, but I'm much more comfortable getting the high ground and whipping out a pistol at our current state. Now, see on the right there, there's a couple of trikes. We're making a mental note here, right? Our base is just across this water. Is there a trike nest around here? This is something that as you play the mod, you're not only going to get better at recognizing, yes, that is a nest, no, that's not a nest, but in addition, are those dinosaurs exhibiting herd behavior? And we could see as we come in here, there was a Sarco kind of way off in the distance, and there's another kind of up on the shore. So again, hey, check this out. The Giga, we're going to get the Giga Heart, as well as the armored plates, and a chance for scaled hide. Remember, oh, do you see the Sarcos over there? Yeah, we're gone. We did not stay very long at all. Those Sarcos definitely are hanging out around there, and that's not good for us. Remember, in the Hunted mod, if we were to get those armored plates from a smaller creature, there would actually be less armored plates. We're right back up where we were when the Giga came running after us, and by the time we got back up here, Allosauruses and Carnos. Now, the Carnos are absolutely tearing up these Allosauruses. I was surprised by that. I thought that maybe the Allosauruses might have a little bit of an advantage, but it seems like the Carnos outnumbered the Allos. And look at all these nests. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Are there 8 possible nests through here? Those are the Quetzals right there. I think episode 1 we met those Quetzals just up the hill. There's definitely... Oh, look at this. Okay, this is probably a Carno nest. They're kind of hard to see because they're teeny tiny, but those are definitely potential passive tame Carnos. We have angered some of the fully grown local Carnos, which is respectable, but we really need to take advantage of these nests, and we really need to destroy them. We haven't been very good caretakers of our world by letting all these nests continue to spawn. That being said, they have been well protected by Allosauruses, and then there was the Giga, and now there's these Carnos. I think there might be another Carno around here, but I don't know where it went. There were those Procoptodons, which are passive tames, which are definitely on our hit list of things we want to tame. We need to get those passive tames. A Procoptodon, that kangaroo, would be a really great passive tame. Now, these guys are really hard to see when you're out here. I could kind of feel them, kind of hear them banging around, but I'm not going to tell you how long it took me to try and figure this out. It's pretty embarrassing, but they're actually panicking. So we can't... Oh, Carno, never mind. Abort mission. Run. Okay, pistol time. We're just going to pistol you to death, and so far so good, Mr. Carno. Say goodnight. So it turns out that these these Carno little babies, they are passive tames. We have the right kibble. However, they're panicking, and you can't passive tame animals that are panicking. It was a little embarrassing. Notice with the Carno nest, there's some ivory, there's some clay, and hopefully an egg. It seems like we couldn't find an egg, though, until we destroyed the nest, and then it was under the nest. Not a big deal since we're going to destroy the nest anyways. We will find that nest. And again, this aloe wasn't here dead a moment ago. Aloe braid, armor plates, scaled hide. We got more scaled hide and more armor plates from the Giga than we did from the aloe. It's just a bigger creature. But of course, there's a random terror bird. Like where did this guy even come from? Like, where are your parents? Where's your nest? And a Prococtagon just about knocked us over again. This is the second time, 2 episodes in a row. Oh, finally, they want to be our friend. Okay. That the Prococtodons, these little kangaroos, have been mocking us, been just teasing us. We're going to, of course, harvest all of the corpse that we possibly can, because when are we going to kill this many aloes or Carnos? Like, I have no idea, and this is pretty bountiful. We're likely going to be over encumbered if we're not too careful here, if not slot capped. Oh my goodness, please, we just want to go home, but we can't. Do you see why we can't? There on the left, do you see it? It's not the Bronto, it's the yellow drop. We really need to be farming these drops. It is the most consistent source of the deactivated implants, which we need for saddles. And it's like we just never get a second to take a break. Either something's trying to kill us, we're sneaking up, trying to get something, an egg or a passive tame, or we're after these drops. It really feels like there's just always something to do, but I don't always know if we're going to be successful doing it. And I mean, that might be the worst, sales pitch for the Hunted, but it's definitely how it feels right now where we are in our progression. One of the things I've discovered from picking up all of these loot drops, just constantly farming them, is we're getting some really good gear. We're pretty much 24/7 if a drop comes down, picking it up. We're getting loads of implants, which is important, but we're also getting, some good BPs, some good blueprints. Remember, in ARK, your crafting skills actually influence how good the blueprint is. So let's say you get a blueprint for a simple pistol that is, I'll just say 200 damage, and you respec and put all your points in the crafting, you might be able to get it to 250, 300% damage. You can really get a pretty big advantage as if you properly do it. So you're going to see here, we're going to pretty much one shot, one kill. That is 5,000 damage. We're just way overpowered all of a sudden. Like, because we've just non-stop farmed these loot drops, it's just RNG. Eventually you get something good, right? We've got a couple of good blueprints. We've taken the time to respec our character. It's not all that glamorous. Just build the soup, drink it, forget everything, learn it again, do it twice, so you're a competent survivor, and then you're a competent crafter, and then you're a competent survivor. See that purple drop? It's pretty far away. It's way off in the distance, but we're going for it. Like, we need that drop. Now, because we're farming all these drops, we're getting good blueprints, and we're able to get some pretty powerful weapons. Maybe we just got a little lucky, right? Maybe, we've gotten unusually lucky. I really don't know, and most of my time in ARK, I pretty much ignore the loot drops. I'm either under-leveled, or by the time I'm usually leveled up enough to get them, they're not worth spending time going around and getting them. But here in the Hunted mod, because they have a guaranteed drop of deactivated implants, it really has kind of changed the way we play, and I don't think that's a bad thing. Maybe that's my own shortcoming as an ARK player, that I've mostly ignored the drops. I don't find them that interesting. I want to, tame cool dinos and build cool bases, but, because we've been farming these drops, we've got some really sweet, because we've been farming these loot drops, we've been, getting some really, the beacons, we've got some really good blueprints and some really nice weapons, surprisingly good once we spec'd in the crafting and built them. All that being said, if there's one thing it's that we're back here in the Allosaurus nesting ground from episode 2. We did successfully go ahead and kill and harvest 1 Giga. We did have some help from Waterfall. We're going to take down some aloes. It's really a big game changer, not just to have this rifle, which is just a simple rifle, but we put the scope on it, makes it all fancy. Here's an Anki nest and 1 angry Anki. Of course, we're still, we could harvest this aloe course, but we're kind of, I don't want to say greedy. That's not the right word, but we just have too many aloes right now. Like, we don't have anything to do with all this aloe corpse stuff. We want this purple drop so we can go ahead and get another implant. You really have to spend more. And look, this chest piece here is like triple the armor of the one we have. We even use the upgrade station to get. I mean, it's just wild how good some of the loot is in these drops. Hey, if you don't have your hands on a decent gun yet, you don't have your bullets smithed up yet, because they are expensive. I talked about that last episode. I mentioned the boomerang's not bad. I just wanted to show you here, not really show you my boomerang skills. I'm not the best boomeranger in the business, and I'm not sure who is. If it's you, comment now, let me know. I would love to hear who's good with boomerangs. I try, okay? At least the boomerang always comes back to me. But suffice to say, if you can hit something with the boomerang, it's easier if it's not a moving target. You know, this Rex is kind of just running amok. But if you can hit something with the boomerang, it does do toper damage, and it's a lovely weapon. Obviously, we're using a reusable mod, which is, of course, in the mod list in the description, but hence we get a bunch of boomerangs to throw. Boomerang is definitely a way that you might go early on in the mod, especially if you don't necessarily want to spear something to death. You don't have a good spear. You like the boomerang. It's a tool I don't really use a lot on ARK. You know, it came out with Scorched Earth. It's been in the game a long time, but at this point for us, boomerang's great, but you know, one shot, one kill. Why would we even mess around with the boomerang? You know, you're not going to see us boomerang more, but it's worth mentioning. It's something that, you know, in your hunted adventure, you might discover that, hey, this boomerang's pretty good. Remember, these ovises are super important. We haven't quite gotten into why just yet, but every time we see an ovis, we tame them. We're not ever leaving our base without the kibble, so we have an opportunity to passive tame things. There we go. Take that, you little stinker. Hit him with the old boomerang. Now, of course, we're going to harvest the T-Rex. Let's go ahead and check out what great colors this one had. It was kind of sad that we put this one down, but can't tame when hunted. Okay, Tyrannosaurus X arms, armored plates, scaled hide. Of course, we could hit it with our hatchet or our pick to get some meat, you know, prime and otherwise, but we're not going to do that. Now, if you don't want to go boomerang, you don't want to go spear, and you don't have the guns, I guess you're going to pump melee and hope you can fist some things. I have no idea what your plan is then, but I definitely would consider the boomerang. Back at base, back here with the Tashas, the Pashas, the twins, we're going to go ahead and hatch some of these eggs. We have been getting a lot of eggs, and you know, remember, once you put down the nest, you need to put the fuel in the nest, and then the nest starts to degrade, so a little bit of a time thing. You can repair the nest, but we picked up a couple of eggs last episode, a couple of eggs this episode. We're going to go ahead and try and hatch them down, but we kind of overthrew the nest quite a bit, like a lot. Like, these are nowhere near the nests at all. We just dropped them. It actually took us a couple of tries to get this right. It's a little embarrassing, but we built kind of this floating staircase, just, you know, one wall up and then the stairs, and then hopefully this gives us the proper angle to go ahead and throw in the nest. And you know, if there's one thing the hunted has in abundance, that's an opportunity to sit around and wait for eggs to hatch, and then wait for, you know, eggs to grow older. But if we can get the drop from this angle, I'm going to call that just a huge victory. 1 giga down, bunch of nests raided. Oh, they're all in the nest finally. All we have to do is wait for them to hatch, please. If you learned something or enjoyed this video, share with a friend. If you are new here, subscribe now. If you have joined and enjoyed before, welcome back. If you would like to see more quality content, please consider joining me in supporting the channel through Patreon and utilizing the affiliated links. Thanks.